watching The End Zone, sponsored by Lucky Star Casino.
And welcome to another edition of The End Zone along with Josh Callaway. I am Colby Daniels. Football fever, Josh, is taking over. It is in full swing. NFL training camps are already underway. We are finally getting toward the end of the media day circuit, if you will. Big Ten media days going on this week, which we'll hit in a short amount of time. But it is full steam ahead, just a couple weeks away from OU and OSU getting underway. It's all football from here on out.
Oh, it feels good. We're getting closer, little by little. Like you said, Big Ten this week, ACC this week as well. The kind of final media days get away from talking season into getting the pads on. By this time next week, OU will have practiced. They'll have hit the practice field the first time. So feels good. We're getting close. We're getting close finally.
What are you most excited about just once they get on the field?
I mean, just specific to Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll take the low-hanging fruit. I want to see John Mateer.
Okay.
I want to see more John Mateer. Obviously, we saw him a little bit in the spring. Obviously, we didn't get a spring game. We were shortchanged a little bit there. But just see more John Mateer and the other newcomers too. Jay Knott, obviously the running back, comes in this summer. Obviously, he wasn't here in the spring, so get to get a look at him and just kind of see how this offense is coming along. That's the storyline with Oklahoma, right? Is can the offense be, at least serviceable this time around? And so I think everyone's excited to see Mateer, Ott, and all these new guys.
I would imagine the first 10 or 15 minutes that we get of an open practice, the cameras around, whatever John Mateer is doing, whether it's stretching or just talking to teammates, that's probably going to take up, I would assume, 90% of the media availability.
Mateer mania right now.
That's right.
OU fans are taking it all in, and for good reason.
Well, speaking of Mateer mania, I know that he made an impression at SEC Media Days. We talked about it last week. I think a lot of the national media has a much higher perception of what Oklahoma might be this year than certainly what the perception has been the last few years. The SEC media poll came out, and I don't know that the SEC media members necessarily reflected the same optimism. But look, I think with the Oklahoma schedule, where they slot is certainly something that I think you have to be comfortable with.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I thought it was a little low for Oklahoma. Not that I thought they were going to be, right at the top of this thing, but 10, a little lower side. I'll put it this way: if Oklahoma finishes 10th, they will not be happy with that. That would be a very disappointing season.
No doubt. That probably means a new head coach, right?
Yeah, exactly. You said it. I was a little surprised, and not that I expected them to be in the top 2 or 3 even, but I expected 5, 6, 7 because we talked about it last week, like you said. I mean, the buzz coming out of Atlanta was, some people are picking Oklahoma to win the SEC, like sleeper team. Like, I've seen it. Okay, it's out there.
That's wild.
John Mateer, SEC Player of the Year, Brent Venables, SEC Coach of the Year. These are all things that I saw and heard last week. But obviously, the poll is everyone credentialed, everyone gets a vote. So obviously, maybe just the national voices are a little bit louder, but obviously across the conference, maybe not as high on Oklahoma. Maybe waiting to see it a little bit more. But that stuck out to me certainly. Oklahoma a touch lower than I would have guessed going in for sure.
For what it's worth, I will just say that Vanderbilt, I believe, had a first place vote.
Oklahoma did get a couple first place votes, which is kind of an odd thing.
But again, take it for what it's worth, because Vanderbilt got a first place vote, and I'm just going to call my shot. Vanderbilt's not winning the SEC this year, so you can hold my feet to the fire if that ultimately backfires.
Do you think that guy covers Vanderbilt, the guy who voted for him?
No chance. No chance. He probably covers Alabama, right? He's just being real.
Taking a chance,
he's standing on business.
I got you.
Look, I think that in the SEC, there's probably a couple tiers where Tier 1 is probably Texas and Georgia, at least in the preseason, right? Like based on what they return and some of the newcomers on the roster.
That's 1 and 2.
Tier 2 to me would be probably LSU and Alabama in the 3 and 4 slots. And then I think from 5 to like 11 is Tier 3 and probably about as interchangeable in any order as you want to put them.
I'm pretty much with you there. I mean, LSU, I think you have the advantage of Garrett Nussmeier. For a lot of people, is the best quarterback in the league. They had a great offseason portal, that sort of thing. Obviously, Brian Kelly, they finished last year with a little bit of momentum. So they might be they're probably 3 for me with Bama right there. But I'm right with you. I mean, Tennessee, I don't know what they are. Obviously, the whole Nico thing, Joey, Aguilar comes in. Same thing with Ole Miss, new quarterback there. We talked about that a couple times, all the new quarterbacks in the league. So, the teams that actually have their guy back, Nussmeier, Lawrence Sellers, South Carolina, you feel like that gives them a little leg up. But yeah, the middle of the conference.
They lost a lot outside of him.
Right. The middle of the conference is kind of a hodgepodge, like you said. I mean, Florida, DJ Lagway, they finished last year really strong, but are they ready to make another step with Billy Napier? Obviously, he was on the hot seat the middle of last year.
That's right.
Now they have all the momentum.
Right.
So I'm with you. It's kind of a wide open league. It feels like there's a clear top and a clear bottom with like your Kentuckys, your Mississippi States. But then, like you said, kind of that 5, 11 to really maybe even 12 range is kind of like everyone could kind of beat up on each other. Everyone might be like somewhere between 7-5 and 9-3. Right.
I did see a lot of conversation on social media about the All-SEC team, which did not include John Mateer. Speaking of Mateer Mania, he wasn't the first-team quarterback, wasn't the second-team quarterback, or the third-team quarterback. In fact, Oklahoma only had 3 players total, running back Jaden Ott, R. Mason Thomas, neither of whom were on the first team, and then long snapper Ben Anderson. But what did you make of the, I guess, lack of Sooners on the All-SEC Conference first, second, and third teams?
Yeah, this actually surprised me, I think, more than the poll.
Agreed.
There are no OU players on this thing, and no first-teamers is crazy. I mean, I thought R. Mason Thomas, look, there's a lot of really good edge rushers. I acknowledge that. The SEC is a really good league, and it kind of hurts Oklahoma that their best positions, their best players are the positions that are kind of the deepest, frankly, in the SEC. But I thought R. Mason Thomas would be a first team. I thought Kip Lewis would be on here. I thought Robert Spears-Jennings would be on here. John Mateer, I wasn't sure. I thought he'd probably get third team because there was just so much hype last week in Atlanta.
Eli Bowen probably deserves some
Eli Bowen
consideration
probably. Yeah, there's a lot of guys on the defensive side of the ball, especially. I thought even, honestly, Jaden Ott, another guy, a ton of hype last week. I thought maybe you could sneak on third team. But, yeah, one offensive guy, one defensive guy, and then one special teams guy, the long snapper. Oklahoma did not get a lot of respect here on the All-SEC team at all.
I'll say this about Mateer. At least he's played high-level football, and we've seen it.
Yeah.
Whereas Arch Manning, we've seen him in short spurts at Texas, but he's not been a full-time starter.
Yeah.
And to say that maybe he has a higher ceiling than Mateer, I'm not going to dispute that. But, I mean, to say just he's the guy over what John Mateer's already put on tape is also a little bit of a stretch. But that's neither here nor there. I did mention Big Ten Media Days, and Curt Cignetti, the Indiana coach, has probably made the biggest headline this week. And a lot of this has to do with scheduling and the college football playoff and the new model that's being argued over between the two power players that are the SEC and the Big Ten. But let's take a listen to Curt Cignetti on canceling their non-conference Virginia game.
Play 9 conference games. You know, the 2 best conferences in college football, any football guy that's objective will tell you, is the Big Ten and the SEC. All right? 12 of the 16 SEC teams play 3 G5 or an FCS game. 12 of those teams play 36 games, 29 G5 games, and 7 FCS games, and 1 less conference game. All right? So we figured we'd just adopt SEC scheduling philosophy.
That is the most media days thing.
I can appreciate the jab that he takes there at the SEC. I've said it forever. The SEC has just been smarter about scheduling than everybody else in college football. At least Curt Cignetti realizes that and is doing what he thinks is best for Indiana.
I admire he at least said it with his chest.
Yes,
like you said,
absolutely.
He meant that. I disagree completely, obviously. SEC, first off, it's just the deepest conference.
Right.
I mean, look at what Indiana played last year in the Big Ten and compare it to what, we'll say Oklahoma, since they're our team here in
100%.
state. Not even close. Not even close. And most SEC teams, yes, they play a G5 and FCS. They also have a major non-conference game. Almost every team in the league, OU, Michigan, LSU, Clemson, Bama, Texas is playing Ohio State. The list goes on. Everyone has got a heavy hitter, not just any non-conference game, but a heavy hitter one too. So I'm not with him there, but I do appreciate the hot take on media.
Well, he said everything should be equal, and I totally agree with that perspective.
I don't disagree necessarily.
The problem is the Big Ten is not equal to the SEC. Ultimately,
also
you can
true.
compare maybe the first 2, 3, 4 teams, but when you get through
depth.
the top 10, it's nowhere close, and that's the big issue with college football and trying to compare every conference to one another in some sort of equal way. All right, we're going to take a timeout. Camryn Johnson, new sports director at KTUL, joins us next here on the End Zone. Welcome back to the End Zone. Along with Josh Callaway, I am Colby Daniels. We welcome in Camryn Johnson, the new sports director at KTUL in Tulsa, and new co-host here on the End Zone. So we're going to We're going to sprinkle her in throughout the summer as we gear up toward the football season. Camryn, we are excited to have you, and you picked a great time as we get ready to go full steam ahead into the football season.
Yeah, no kidding, and came in right after all the hype for basketball, but so perfect timing. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun year to watch football here in the state of Oklahoma.
What are you most excited about in terms of covering football here in this state? You're from Tulsa, obviously, so you're not a stranger to the football here in the state.
Yeah, no, I grew up a big-time football fan. I had a family divided. You know, one half was diehard OU, the other half Oklahoma State. And they've changed quite a bit, both those programs, since whenever I was fully invested in those teams. But I think it's going to be really fun to watch both of them. I mean, OU, like, this is a year with John Mateer at the helm. I think they've got the capabilities to do really well. And then Oklahoma State, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with them. But I think, you know, that's, you know, Mike Gundy always does well in the years where people are doubting him. So who knows? I think that there's a lot of question marks around this year that'll make it really fun.
You weren't covering Oklahoma last year, but you were covering Arkansas and the SEC.
Yeah.
I know they didn't play, but at least you had a perception of Oklahoma making that jump into the SEC.
Yeah, and you know, I think about that, and it's the gamble that you take whenever you move conferences, because it's not something that happens immediately. It's something that happens years down the line. So I think when OU first announced that they were moving to the SEC, that was when they were in their prime. You had that run of Baker, Kyler, Jalen. I think if they had moved right away, then they would have been fit right in near the top like Texas did this past year. But I think, you know, they had their adjustment year. They've made on paper the necessary changes that they need to. So I think this year we'll see more of what OU can actually do.
Yeah, the investment is there. The schedule is still pretty brutal, but you know, at some point you hope that those things kind of meet up in the middle.
For sure. I'm curious. I mean, obviously you're from Oklahoma, so maybe you've done some of this stuff already, but anything you're looking forward to, Oklahoma State or Oklahoma, a certain game, anything that comes out you're looking forward to getting to?
Oh, well, it's hard not to say. Yeah, I know. Hard not to say the Michigan game for OU,
for sure.
and then Oregon as well for Oklahoma State. I mean, these are some real big games. You know, everyone kind of looks at your non-conference games, and it's like, okay, first game, we're just excited to see the team in action, but it's probably not going to be that good of a game. So it's exciting that these teams are playing some real Power 5-4 competition just right out of the gate. So those will be great environments. I mean, I went to a lot of OU games growing up, and I know how electric that environment can be. So excited to get back out in that.
All right, well, we're gonna have a little fun. We're gonna just kind of do an either or with your sports fandom. So you can just kind of give us what your thoughts are. First, either or here. Let's go to Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray?
I'm gonna go with Baker. I mean, both very good quarterbacks, but Baker was so fun to watch. He was one of those guys where if he wasn't on your team, you probably didn't like him. But I loved him as just because he was just off the field too. I mean, he made it entertaining to watch. So full respect to Kyler, but I'll go with Baker.
All right, Des Bryant or Justin Blackmon?
I'm going to go with Des Bryant because I am a Dallas Cowboys fan, so got to go with him on that one. Show some love.
By the way, we cry and like have a little Dallas Cowboys like self-loathing meeting every Tuesday. So you're welcome to join us.
Yes.
All right, let's go Thunder related. Kevin Durant or Russell Westbrook?
Oh boy,
Russell
don't mess
Westbrook.
This one up. Yeah.
No,
this one is literally a layup for you. So
don't miss this one.
I still remember the day Durant left, and when people were talking about changing the sign in Durant to Westbrook, it was it was a tough day. So I'll show some love to Westbrook.
Speaking of Dallas Cowboy misery, Tony Romo or Dak Prescott? What do you got?
Oh, okay. This is a tough question. I will go Dak Prescott on this one, especially when his first year. It was like after Romo got hurt, and you see Prescott, and you're like, oh, there's a chance we could make it back to the top. Nowadays, I'm a little more of mixed opinion on it, but in this case.
And very quickly, cheese fries or Lincoln Riley's brisket?
Cheese fries. I'm not a huge barbecue fan, which is surprising, I think. But you can never go wrong with cheese fries as long as it's not the nacho cheese.
Not a huge barbecue fan, and even less when the former Oklahoma head coach burns it. So that's
a little chewy.
All right, we're going to put you in the hot seat. Moving the chains is next here on the End Zone. And welcome back to the End Zone. It is time for Moving the Chains, along with Josh Callaway and Camryn Johnson. I am Colby Daniels. All right, Camryn, simple process. I'm going to throw a question your way. You start with 1st and 10. You're going to answer it, and Josh is going to give you either positive or negative yardage, depending on how well he likes your answer.
Yeah.
We're giving Josh a lot of power today.
Yeah.
You've got to try and pick up a first down.
Ooh, okay.
So just a heads up, nobody's ever not gotten a first down, so no pressure.
Right.
I mean, everybody's moved.
Good.
Nobody's ever been judged by me.
Good.
Yeah, but Josh has never
true.
judged either. So
Okay,
I mean,
so there's
we'll
some
see.
leeway.
We'll see.
We'll see.
All right, first question out of the gate. I don't know why, but apparently Coldplay is in the news lately, so somebody can probably fill me in at some point. But describe OU football using a Coldplay song title.
Oh boy. Okay. The first one that pops in my head, this is more encompassing and like all encompassing. Probably not the best answer. I'm going to say Adventure of a Lifetime.
Okay,
For that
okay,
song.
that's
Because
good.
they'll take you on some adventures. They'll take you to some real high highs, break your heart, and then do it again the next year. But sometimes it gets really good, so I'm going to just call it an adventure. What do you think?
I was immediately thinking of Fix You because it just needs to be
Oh.
fixed.
Yes,
I was,
yes,
I might give,
that was my thought
I
as
might
well.
give like 8 yards and she get. I'll go solid pickup though.
It is still a good
It still
answer,
works.
yeah.
I'll go pick up a 4.
Okay.
4 yards.
Okay.
That's a
So
solid
that's a
pickup.
solid
Man.
gain
Yeah,
on
solid.
first
It
down,
was still a good
despite
answer.
missing a wide open
I
receiver
know. When you
down
put
the
me
middle
on
of
the
the field.
spot, I just forget these great songs. I
Yeah.
got to lock
It's
in.
hard. I've
Okay.
been
Yeah, yeah.
I've been there.
There's a lot of fixing that needs to be done. All right, this is a similar question. Speaking of musicians in the news, Ozzy Osbourne, rest in peace, passed away earlier this week. So describe OSU football using an Ozzy Osbourne song title.
Well, I feel like the one I got to go with here is Crazy Train because it's just what the heck is going on, you know?
I said OSU football, not Mike Gundy.
Okay,
I'm kidding. I'm
Okay.
kidding. It works for both. Yeah.
Good answer. Here's the problem.
no.
That's OU song. That's OU song. They played it every game.
What?
I'm gonna
They
go gain
do.
a 2 because
Okay.
that's an OU song.
Okay.
That's an OU song. Pick up a 2 though. You're in
Mama,
good shape.
I'm coming home.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work too. I don't know that many.
I
I'll be
will
honest.
say I'm a little more familiar with Coldplay. Clearly not, though, because I missed that obvious answer. But
OSU's
Ozzy-
offensive line, when Barry Sanders was there, was nicknamed the War Pigs.
Well, there you
So
go.
that also would have been
Now you see,
a
for
terrific
me,
answer, but
that's-
before your
that's-
time,
yeah.
right?
Maybe changes.
Yeah.
You have to
changes.
change a lot. They were
Yes,
3
a
and
lot
9.
of changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Okay.
go. Okay, you're doing well so far. 4-yard gain, 2-yard gain. So third and
Third and 4, you're in good
third and
shape.
manageable. I mean,
Yeah,
this
you're in
is
good shape.
you're
Okay.
in good shape. You're ahead of the chains. So, best college football fight songs. I saw this being debated on social media earlier today.
Well, I hate to not pick OU, but the lyrics of that one, they're not the most deep, so I'm not going to go them on this one. Ooh. Man, now I'm forgetting all of them. Okay. I'm going to go Arkansas on this one. Just because I covered Arkansas.
The
And also,
Arkansas fight song?
no, it's not the best. Okay, let me change. I just feel like I'm gonna say the wrong team here, and like my hatred for these teams it's just not gonna make it. Okay, let's go.
But this is just the fight song. This doesn't
Just the fight
necessarily have
song,
to be
okay.
reflective of the team itself.
Sure.
Okay. I think I find the Notre Dame one pretty catchy.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I just, in this territory, we don't. OU fans
It
don't
is
like
it is
Notre
a great
Dame,
fight
so
song, though. I
it's a
think it's
good
one of
fight
the
song.
iconic
It's good. Yeah,
fight
I
songs
like
like
in
it.
college
maybe
football.
maybe like a Rocky Top. something
Rocky
like that.
Top,
Yeah.
Hail to the Victors, right?
Yeah.
Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go gain a 2. Gain a
Okay.
2. You're in
Oh,
position.
okay.
4th and 2, you can punch it across. 4th and 2.
Well, clearly,
He's not a tough judge because when you answered Arkansas, I immediately thought that's going to be.
Let me just say that's
you
not.
you tripped
that's-
over your
I was
running
not-
back's feet and maybe fell down to the
No,
back.
let me
heel.
just clarify. This kind of stuff, I will overthink it, and then I'll be like, I have no clue
It was
where
a
to go from
fumble,
here.
but then someone
I
scooped it.
panicked,
Somebody scooped it and
Yeah.
you still got a
scooped
positive.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, just wipe
You
that.
salvaged a broken play.
Yeah,
Yes.
How about that?
made something out of nothing.
All right, you salvaged. Okay, this one isn't really sports related, although it could be.
Okay.
Who's your irrational celebrity or athlete nemesis? Everybody's got one, right?
Wow.
Just somebody that you just don't like and you don't even know why.
I've got a bunch
too.
too. I know. I'm trying to pick the right sport here.
It can be a celebrity too.
A celebrity. Okay.
Musician, actor, actress.
I don't know. Right now, this may be a
Pressure's
little
on.
more towards the younger
Need 2
audience.
yards.
I mean, I don't know what your music catalog is, but right now, anytime I hear a Benson Boone song, it's just no.
Okay.
That's a good answer.
It's an
answer.
automatic no.
That's a gain of like 10.
Okay.
That's a good answer.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Finally.
out. I'm
So
out.
we got a first down.
Yeah.
You move the
First down.
chains,
Okay.
and the pressure is off your shoulders. First down, Camryn Johnson. Camryn, we appreciate it. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you, guys.
Along with Josh Callaway, I'm Colby Daniels. We're going to wrap up with the mistake by the lake. That's next here on the End Zone. All right, the Cleveland Browns this week revealed their new uniforms, new helmets. By the way, they're sponsored by Dude Wipes,
For obvious reasons.
which is insane.
They look not good.
How about the helmet reveal, though? We've got the photographer falling into the lake. I mean, is this Cleveland Brown football or what?
It's perfect. It's Cleveland Browns to a T. The helmets are awful, all brown. Who asked for that? And I'm woke up. Did he do this on purpose?
It could be. It could be.
People are
just to get
asking.
some attention.
People are asking.
I mean, there's nothing else happening in Cleveland. By the way, the Dude Wipe mascot being named Deuce is probably the best part of the entire equation.
That's incredible.
All right, that is Josh Callaway. I am Colby Daniels. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week.